We will now look at some figures that reflect the investment, receipts and expenditure of private educational institutions for the same census period of 1999 to 2000. And the reason why I'm showing you this slide is to help you understand why data from 16 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago becomes meaningless today. In a previous slide very recently, we saw that the number of changes in Punjab were way higher than in Sindh or any of the other provinces. But look at this slide. If you look at the graph for Punjab and for Sindh, you see the investment is higher in Sindh. Now, 65% of educational institutions in the Punjab are private. Only 16% were private in Sindh. How can that expenditure be more for Sindh compared to Punjab? But you see, that data was from 2007 and 8. So you see why, when we compare, we need recent data. The reason for this is, if data is recent, even that data is 7, 8 years old. It's not valid today. But when you compare something from 2000 with something from 2008 and they don't match, you can't make comparisons. That's the problem. And so, what do you go with? This is much earlier, and we see that Punjab was second in expenditure in terms of private educational institutions. If that is true, then how and what did Punjab do to increase its private education sector by 65%? Other provinces need to look at it and learn from it. If we can do that, we will be on the right track. So I hope you understand why recent data and recent research is more important when we want to make decisions for today and tomorrow. According to the census of 1999 and 2000, the largest chunk of private sector's expenditure went to teaching staff. And that is true at any time or for any institution. No matter what income you make, your largest chunk of expenditure will be teacher salaries. That's where most of the education money goes. Unless we pay teachers properly, decently, relatively based on their capabilities, qualifications, experience, and so on, why will they do a good job? Why will they make sure that they are providing quality and effective education to students? So 57% going to teacher salaries in 2000. The other two major types of expenditures were salaries for non-teaching staff. Remember, schools need peons, maids, cleaners, gardeners, electricians, what else? So the non-teaching staff also have to be paid. And then it's the rent of the building. If you don't own the building and you're paying rent, that is an expenditure. That is a chunk of money that is going out. So, with most of the expenditures focused on salaries and rent, which are built in, remember, I think the next would be utilities, paying the electricity bill, the gas bill, the water bill, and so on and so forth. So all these built-in, permanent expenditures are important to focus on. So what is left? And what do you do with what is left? Distribution of expenditure of private educational institutions. Again, you see teaching staff 57%, non-teaching staff 11%. Add that, you have 68%, 2/3 of your income going on salaries. Building rent was 10%. Utilities, as I said, would be the next one at 7%. Repair and maintenance, obviously things don't last forever. There is a half-life for everything. And then miscellaneous. Now you need to look at what goes into miscellaneous. Miscellaneous can't be just bought this, bought that, this, that. Miscellaneous should include lots of things like upgrading the equipment, upgrading the facilities, and stuff like that. So what goes into miscellaneous also needs to be looked at. And how many items make up miscellaneous? You can't have 12, 15, 20 different things, miscellaneous, miscellaneous, miscellaneous. Then you need to create categories for those two. So looking at this financing of private education and where most of the expenditures are. And that's the way they will be. Whether you're looking at a school, whether you're looking at a college, or whether you're looking at the university, the major chunk will go to the salaries. And if you own the building, that 10% of rent, where does that go? Also needs to be accounted for. Accountability is absolutely critical. Just because you are the owner, you own the school, you don't say, I'm charging rent, and put the money in your account. That's not integrity.